afternoon, good morning. Welcome in from across the continent and beyond for another exciting Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants broadcast. If you're joining us for the first time, we're all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And I'm so happy of all days you're joining us for this program because we've had an absolutely wild week. We've been live on a beach with elephant seals. We've talked to cave divers. We just wrapped up live talking about whales and hydrophones. And of all those incredible programs, this is the one with the most students because it's a topic that we hear about every single day on the news, in our classrooms and beyond, and that is AI and its energy footprint. So I'm really excited you're all here to join us. We're going to have a really interactive program today, so please, teachers on YouTube, teachers on StreamYard, get your hands at the keyboards. We're going to be asking you a bunch of questions throughout. And to talk through us with this is Herman from Digital Moment. So Digital Moment is pretty much the leading organization in the world for highlighting digital education, AI, and beyond. We've partnered with them with many broadcasts over the last few months, all of which are on our YouTube channels. If you want to check them all out there, check this one out in 3 weeks or 3 years, you can do that. Do check out digitalmoment.org too. Lots to explore and discover there. Without further ado, none of you are here for me, so I'm going to zip it and turn you over to Herman. Thank you so much for joining us today to walk us through a really cool topic and take us away. Thanks, man.
Hey, pleasure. Great to be here. Always so much fun at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. And as Jesse said, I'm going to be asking lots of questions. So get ready, answer questions. I want to know what you think. We're going to explore these topics. I'm going to teach you a little bit, but more than teaching you, I'm going to give you tools and I'm going to give you concepts to think about. Let's get started. We are Digital Moment. We're a non-profit organization in Canada that teaches students and teachers about digital technology, about computational thinking, coding, and communicating with computers, and critical thinking, AI, and the way that we're interacting with these machines in the new digital world. To get started, let's see what are we talking about. As Jesse said, we're talking about AI and the planet. We want to see how are we using AI and how the use of AI is impacting their planet. What is the footprint that AI has? What can we do? What can organizations do? And how can we consider different ways for us to become better and more responsible users, and also for organizations that create better systems that interact in a better way with the environment? All this is to celebrate the launch of our new Digital 2030 Challenge. The Digital 2030 Challenge is a challenge that we launch every year, celebrating the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, and in this case, we have our new challenge. I'm going to click here so you take a pic. We're going to share the link later on, and then you can visit and start exploring all these concepts. Let me go back. I'll share the slide again. What we're going to do first is I told you I was going to promise questions. I want to have answers. The answers are going to be super simple. For now, it's going to be a yes or no. I have a few images with a question. Does this use AI? This image that we see here represents traffic lights in your city or town. Do you think that those traffic lights are using AI? I see
Let's see.
Lots of people in the chat. I see. Hi, Sandra. Nice to see you.
I was going to say, for anyone on YouTube or StreamYard, please do share. We'd love to hear from you throughout this. I know there's a little delay on YouTube, but if you want to get those answers in, we've got yes to begin. I would say yes. I would say that this has been yes, not just for recently, but like for a long time now, as we've had algorithms built into traffic lights. So that's my take, and there you are.
So that's interesting. Jesse says yes. Miss Can says yes. And if you're in YouTube, I know, as Jesse said, there's a little delay, but let us know what you think. We said, oh, grade 5 from Milton, welcome. Mostly voted no. Thank you so much. I like now we have these two competing ideas. And I'm going to be so mean today. I'm not revealing the answer. Not yet. We're going to see that later on. We're going to have more questions. We're building anticipation. We're getting to think. So we think about traffic lights. Yes, it goes even to say that back in time, this has been using a long time AI. And then we have a grade 5 from Milton saying, no, we have Miss Khan saying yes, and we have Tanya saying yes. So we have different approaches, different concepts and ideas. Let's go to the second one. What do we have? Does this use AI? Weather forecasting. Is it sunny? Is it stormy? Is it raining? Is it windy? Is it hot? Is it cold? Do we use AI for these predictions?
I want to say, as we're getting these answers coming in, and please do, you guys are an awesome audience on YouTube. We actually, I don't know if you've seen the coverage of the hurricane coming in Jamaica right now, but we've had the hurricane hunters on our program right now that literally fly like a plane into the hurricane to get data from that, which is the exact opposite of artificial intelligence. That's kind of crazy intelligence bouncing around in an aircraft, my absolute worst nightmare. We've got yes, yes, yes. Everybody says yes for this. Wow. Geez.
Everywhere.
Yes galore. Cool.
Yep. Excellent. So the first one, we were a little bit divided. This one, we have lots of yes. Why do we have so many yes answers? What can that be? We'll talk about that in a second, but very interesting to see where we are. Let's take a look at the third one. What about this? Oh, I need this and I use it all the time. I fight with it sometimes, but it's the autocorrect on the phone or the computer. We type help and it says hello. And then so many times, every time I type, is giving me an idea. And then I see things already popping in different places. Does this use AI? Yes or no?
So I just got a new phone like 3 days ago, and it does the exact opposite. I'll type hello, and it'll be like help, and I'm like, no, come on, and I smack it, and it's driving me a little crazy. I kind of long for my own old phone, but everybody is saying yes, 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 all yes galore. Man, there's no naysayers in this group today. It's very exciting.
I like all this yes, and I like Jesse is bragging about his new phone. Very good. He has a new phone. We encouraged him, celebrated, but now we know there are challenges. Why does Jesse's new phone struggle with the autocorrect? That's very interesting. If we see yes everywhere, then why a new one is struggling a little bit more than the old phone that I have? That's an interesting thing. Let's take a look at another one. I think we have two more. This one, music playlist suggestions. You've been listening to your favorite artist or song, and then said you might like this. Is this using AI?
My wife has a paid Spotify account that tells her like songs or like the songs that she has every week, and it's just awesome. Like we've discovered most of our best music from this. So I'm going to vote yes from that the algorithm does that. Yes, 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 yes. Man, you guys are the ultimate. We've got a we got French. Yeah, any other languages you're welcome to, just for not something different. Very fun.
Very good. So I like this a lot, and we're getting a lot of consensus. And this is important. We see a lot of yes everywhere. Then we have the last one. The last one says, does this use AI? Medical diagnostic assistance. So does it use AI? Do you think doctors are using AI for this, or hospitals, or health professionals?
I think the last time I looked up a medical condition, it told me I had low poly disease name too, which is the worst of all diseases to have, by the way. So we got a C. Yeah, okay, we're in a third language. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, other languages, I'm very excited. We've had Norwegian in the past. If you want to sneak that in, you're welcome to. So universal yes across the board for all these things from on. All right.
We have a
no.
Yeah.
Miss Kent's class, what's going on with you? Mostly voted no. Okay, cool. The gauntlet's been laid down.
I like that idea of voting no and being contrarian and thinking. And if you want, you can even let us know maybe why do they think no. You don't have to, but it will be great to have that opposite view and maybe explore why is this happening. So we ask all these questions. In most of them, we had yes all over. Why did we have so many yes? And let's go, drum roll. I promise that you're going to be disappointed, so that I apologize, but I'm trying to be truthful. Let's see. What we have here is that AI systems are everywhere. So what that means is that all the yes answers are correct, but the all no answers, you're not incorrect. because there's a little bit more. They're everywhere in many of the systems that we use. For example, the traffic lights, it has been implemented for many years, but it's not in every single town, in every city, and it's not working all the time. The same thing that when we're talking about autocorrect, when we talk about about weather or about medical systems. The reality is that all these systems on AI, they're permeating, they're going through our regular and daily lives and making great impacts. One of the things that I want you to consider is that none of this says ChatGPT or Gemini. It's none of these queries that we do when we interact with AI. These are AI systems that are mostly invisible to us, but are making a big difference and changing the way that we interact, that we learn, that we live, and that we rely on these systems. What we can ask now is if all of those are using AI now in one way or another. We didn't have AI years ago, not that many years ago. So, how did we do traffic light management, weather forecasting, music recommendation, and autocorrect before the era of AI? What did we do?
Do we think?
Do we have any ideas?
Please do. Feel free to share in the chat. A little bit longer than yes this time, which is exciting. We get the broader answers from everybody. So let's see. YouTubers. Man, there's so many of you today. Again, I told you, this is the most popular show we've had. Our Miss Cons class, please feel free to chime in the chat. Some of these, I don't know. Let's see what we get our answers. Longer answers. All right. We've got manual labor, people flicking the switches. Cool.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Some of those are literally like people just doing them. Fantastic.
Great.
We've got
And if we think about manual labor before, while we give people time to chat and to type, is traffic lights.
Yeah.
Then at some point before the traffic lights, we have an officer that was directing traffic. So we didn't even have the traffic light. Then we have traffic lights that maybe were operated, or maybe we had traffic lights that were operated by computers, but not by AI. Let's see what we have. People had to do it themselves. Very interesting. In many of those cases, you're 100% correct. Maybe we didn't get recommendation for the next song to listen to. Is we did it ourselves with our network, with our friends, on the type of music that we saw at the record store when we went to those, and all these type of ideas. And also, Tanya says we ask people for help. So there are all these interesting approaches. We didn't have them before. If we think weather forecasting has always been very complicated, and many years ago, it was divination. We were just guessing. And then we started seeing patterns, and we saw patterns in the sky, patterns in the weather, and we started learning about those patterns. And then most recently, we had very big and complex models that we fed information, and people with manual labor created algorithms, created recipes that will say, you know what, this is what should happen. But now AI can do this in different ways using all the data that it is gathering. Now, I left one out. We had 5. What about the 5th one? What did we used to do with this one? And why is this one a little bit different, or gets us to think in a different way?
So specifically with regards to medicine, Herman, could you remind us, for our students that might have missed it, what specifically our final one is?
The final one is when we use AI, or professionals, medical professionals, not me, medical professionals use AI in order to help diagnose different symptoms. Like the one that Jesse had, what was low poly count?
Yeah. It's the worst. My life expectancy is only like 90 years. It's terrible. So again, we've got things like, again, share with colleagues, ask for help. These are the human element is our answer here to a lot of this, which is really interesting to see. And of course, that's still true today. Just because we use AI systems does not mean we have completely removed humans from the equation. But it was the only option back then. Or again, things that people have written, textbooks, past medical journals, et cetera, et cetera.
Excellent. That is an excellent answer. And the key in why I left this last, we have Miss Amy's class that we will ask doctors, they will base it on if they have seen it before. And that's a key part in all of these. But most importantly here is that we rely on the expertise of the doctor, of the technician, of the weather person, of the engineer that is creating the algorithm. And with AI, it's not much different. It doesn't mean that we're creating a system that just does it and we let it be. And when we're talking about something as delicate as health, then we still require, as Jesse was saying, the expertise of the person that knows the most about the subject and that knows how to gather the information that is required from the environment or from the patient in order to create a diagnostic. Wow, or how does AI help is that it might provide a range of diagnostics that maybe the doctor is not considering at some point, but the doctor is going to make that decision. Great. So we've seen a few things. We've seen AI is everywhere. We didn't have it all the time. We have it more present nowadays, and it's changing the way that we interact. But then we're seeing the things that it does. How does it do these things, or what does it take? If we're talking about resources, then the next step is for us to know it's many places. It's not only ChatGPT. It's not only when I make a song or a video or ask a question. It's everywhere. But then is AI as a discipline and what it takes it to run saving or consuming resources? Is it doing both? And what are the different aspects that we can say that it's saving or consuming? So that's what we're going to start thinking right now. And I have this image oversimplifying just 4 things. We have energy, we have water, we have human effort, and we have time. I want you to tell me, out of these 4, if you want to add more, I'm happy to. Out of these 4, which ones is AI saving? Is it saving energy, water, time, or human effort?
Ooh, by the way, just a weird anecdote as we get our answers coming in. I love the sound of your mouse clicking and circling over things. It's a very satisfying mouse sound. So thank you for that. As someone who has to hear a lot of people play around with their computers, very nice, Herman.
So I've been tuning my mouse for hours.
Yeah. A flat minor. The music fans are dying slowly inside. So for me, as we get our answers in, certainly human effort we're saving. And time we are saving are the 2 that jump out here when AI is done well, and our audience is agreeing with that. Thank you, everyone. Saving human effort, saving time. We don't have to do things. We don't have to stand at the intersection and guide all the cars, as very satisfying as that is to witness. I kind of like when the lights go out and there's like a cop there doing that, because it just looks very vintage and a lot of fun. So universal, saving human effort and saving time, Herman.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I see it in the chat. Thank you so much, chat, and thank you, Jesse. So if these are saving, that means that we're consuming energy and water. That's very interesting. Energy seems very clear. Is it clear that it is consuming water? Does anybody want to tell me why is it consuming water? Why is it so thirsty? What is happening?
Does anyone know this? This is really interesting. I was saying to her mom before the program, my wife now teaches AI literacy at a university level. And this is something that's starting to be something that people know a lot about, but is just starting to break into the broader thing. So I'm curious for our classes, why would AI be using water? What would be the deal? Let's see what we got from our live class, YouTube classes, to cool down the servers.
Very good.
Cool. Nailing it. And this is something that we actually did a live program at a server like a month ago, and they talked about so much about the electricity and water needs of big data servers all around the world and increasingly. So, Herman, I think they're on the ball here.
Yeah, that is perfect. And then that is exactly it. And thank you so much. It's Eluali and Life. Thank you so much. And thank you, Jesse. 100% the cooling of the servers. Let's see what that is. We're going to explore that a little bit more. And then we're starting to see that there are nuances, and we're going to see even more details and things to consider. So we're going to play a game. And it's another set of rounds of questions of yes, no, with no answers. But this time I promise that I'm going to give you a tool that is going to take us closer to the answer. The idea is we're going to guess what uses more. And as you can see, the title is very generic. So are going to be the questions, but let's see what uses more. Which one of these uses more? On the left, we have search, and it's a Google search without AI. Just a regular Google search. On the right side, we are creating a paragraph of text using AI. Which one of these uses more? Google, AI.
I want to stress, I do not know these answers in advance, so I'm just chiming in as an audience member as well. My understanding is that AI text uses a lot more. Ms. Khan, you guys agree on our StreamYard group. Let's see on YouTube, Google search for one of our group. AI text uses more with an exclamation mark. We're at the exclamation mark stage. We're getting them wild, Herman. Okay, so
Great.
Mostly AI text is our overwhelming answer.
Very good. So far we're going mostly with AI, creating a paragraph using AI. Second question, remember at the end, there's going to be another underwhelming answer. I'm preparing you, but then I'm going to show you a way that we can get closer to the answer. And what are the things we need to consider? Watching 1 hour of Netflix movies, or creating 3 seconds of AI video using text.
I like our juxtaposition is 1 hour versus 3 seconds.
Yep.
I hope it's not 3 seconds, because that would be unfortunate. So video AI. So two so far on the AI front for 3-second video. I'm going to vote an hour, because that is like radically more. What is that? It's 20 times 60. That's like 12, not 1,200. Yeah, 1,200 times more.
It's like a lot of times, Jesse. It's a lot of times.
A lot of times. I math on the fly. I was up till 3 a.m. watching the Blue Jays game, but AI video, 2 exclamation marks this time. Way to go. Video of AI, universal.
Excellent.
AI, Ms. Khan agrees.
We're going to check that. I really like it. Thank you for the interaction. We have more. Zoom for 1 hour with 10 people. This is kind of us today. And the other one is 20 paragraphs of AI text.
Wow.
Got interesting. Got close to home. I really like this.
Yeah. We and the first one, it was like a direct juxtaposition, and now it's like 1/100th as much. Is it as much energy? Let's see what we've got. Oh dear. It's really funny to me. Recently a class told me that I was a YouTuber, and that is just not a way that I think of myself at all. It was really shocking. AI text. Okay. Sorry. Hypey, Zoltani, I like your answers every time. It's like a pattern. It's all AI. It's all AI.
It's AI.
Always more energy, no matter what.
All the way down. Perfect. Let's go.
Oh, we got a Zoom. One Zoomer. Okay. Just want to say that we had one different answer. Cool, guys.
Good. Go against the grain. Thank you, Tanya. I contrarians. Well, you're welcome. This one is going to hit home to many of you. We're doing 3 seconds of video with AI. So it's the 3 seconds again, but not text. We're providing, providing text, or scrolling TikTok for 30 minutes over 5G on your phone.
I can genuinely say I've never scrolled TikTok in my entire life. My wife actually does it for the university, but I've never done it. So for the students that do use TikTok, you might know better than, I'm really interested. This is the one that I think is the most different. So 3 seconds of AI is our first 2 answers. I think it's scrolling TikTok for half an hour. That's a long time in 5G, even though we know from all these other questions that AI uses a lot of energy. Back to 3-second video. Everyone is disagreeing with me. Okay. This is I get to be the contrarian.
Yes.
I say TikTok. Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. There. Enjoy it. It doesn't happen too often.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And drum roll. The answer to all the questions is, don't be mad. Please don't be mad. It depends. It depends on many different things. And why does it depend? Because we need to take into account what type of energy would use. What is the source of the energy? The training and the cooling of the computer while it is running or while it is being trained to create the models. What electricity is being used? What type of water or cooling are we using? And what time of the day and more. Don't leave. I know right now you're saying, like, come on, you brought me here to answer questions and you tell me depends. That's not nice, Herman. But what we're going to do is that all this is because I want to take you to a tool that takes into consideration these concepts. And we're going to see what are the pros and the cons of the tool so we understand it. And the tool is called whatusesmore.com. And we're going to see what can we do. The tool looks like this, and the tool gives you some information we're going to explore in a second and lets us compare between two different things. And then it's going to give us a result at the bottom. But what I want to show you and what I want us to start thinking is how difficult is to determine what uses more in this case in many of the examples we created. Let's go to what uses more. This is the what uses more site. And for the teachers here, I want you to keep in mind something. There are two expandables that give us information of how this was made, some considerations to have when you're using it in the classroom, especially what to do. What to do is to start conversations, to get people to think, to explore, and very important, what not to do. So this is not a site to be quoted on a paper or on a homework or research. It's something to help us think because it lacks some of the extra elements that are needed in order to create a good representation. Without any further ado, let's go into some of the questions that we ask. So units, we're going to give units. Energy units is light bulb minutes. We could be using joules or carbon equivalent. You can change it any way you want. And for water units, we're going to give it cubic centimeters. It's just a way for us to see a difference between one and the other. I'm going to make my screen bigger because if not, you're going to be mad. You won't be able to see. First task. So let's go with the TikTok that we did at the end. So it was TikTok. So we're saying, what if we go scrolling TikTok for 30 minutes over 5G? Something else is showing up. And this is the depends that I was mentioning. What energy are we using? Are we using solar power? Are we using coal power? This is taking it even to a different level, saying if it's local or not. Let's go with the happy path. Let's assume we're using solar power. Then, how are we cooling the servers? What we had before, computers, when they work hard, maybe when you're working on your computer or you're in a Zoom call or you're playing a video game, you see your computers get very hot and they need cooling. They need fans, they make noise, or they need water cooling, something like this. Same thing for the computers that are running AI. We're going to say that they're going to do it in a very cold place during a very cold time. Norway during the winter. We're going to leave it there, and we're going to say just one time, so 30 minutes over 5G. In the other side, our second contestant was, what did we have? Creating AI, 3 seconds of AI from text. So we type a prompt, and it's going to create 3 seconds of video. We're going to leave the same idea, that is solar power. It brings some other concepts. Do we want the model to create a response and iterate over that response? No, we're going to leave it simple. Do we want to provide examples so that the model can try the examples? No, zero shot is no examples. And it's going to be, once again, in Norway, we're going to create one. Now I'm going to scroll down, and we have the first footprint versus the second footprint. I'm going to click calculate, and it says TikTok, light bulb minutes, 120. AI, 130. Water, 840 versus 910. We're not that off. Look at the graph that we have in this case. The important thing is that this is giving us the concept of comparing things at different levels, and most importantly, to consider different items. If I said, you know what, for the second task, let's go to the first task, and I said I'm going to use coal power and I'm going to use water from Arizona in the summer, hot, hot, very hot, then look how different the graph looks. So what I want to say is that, like with most things in life, there are nuance levels. There are levels to consider and to think of how many different factors impact what we do. We're going to move on. We're going to have a chance for questions after. And I advise you, teachers and students, play with this. Try to see different combinations of all the questions that we asked today. So we're going to continue, and let me go here and go to our next slide. So what we need to think is, we know that we're saving some things, human effort and time, but we're using resources. Regardless if they're clean, if they're not that much, or they're a lot, we're using resources. So what we can start thinking is, so are we doomed? What is the bright side? Is there a bright side? Is there anything that AI as a technology or as a discipline is also helping to maybe offset these resources that we're depleting? Is it helping in any way there, or are we just using more to create a video that maybe was not needed? Maybe. Let's see what we have. What I have as positives, things that is helping, is that we can see smart agriculture. And that means that AI is helping agriculture and farmers optimize the way that they irrigate, the way that they give water to their crops. And not only that, mitigating, reducing the amount of pesticide that is being used. That lowers the pressure on resources directly with water and in transportation and cost and creation of pesticides. So that's a good thing. Another good thing is that we saw the energy grid, more than just the traffic lights. It's helping make big decisions constantly, depending on many different factors. What time is it? What is the temperature? What is the wind? What is the humidity? What is the consumption? What is the location? And trying to balance to use from different sources. Do we have water that is coming from hydroelectric? Do we have one that is from nuclear, from solar? Are we storing energy at low consumption hours, and how can we use it? And the third one that I have here as one of the positives is transportation efficiency, which we all see. We see when we're traveling and we're in a bus or we're in a car, and then we're using the GPS and it's trying to find the most effective and fast way to go from one place to the other. If you multiply this for all the cars and trucks and all the cargo that is moving around, this helps mitigate the impact. So these are good things, not only the bad, a little bit of the good, and things for us to consider. What should be then be the goal in terms of AI footprint? Adios, Miscan. So we have what should be the goal. The goal is that technological advancement in efficiency of AI systems, from training to operation, lowering energy and waste consumption. What is all that? What do you mean by that? In a short sentence, we mean something that is controversial, that I would love for you in your classrooms to talk a little bit more, and is the concept of carbon neutral. It's that we don't want to be adding more. We want to find a way to reduce our use in general. It has many connotations that we're not going to bring today, but the reason is, why do we want to do this? Why do we think that this is still important? And the reason is that historically, energy drives human progress. Sustainable, efficient, purposeful energy drives our future. The use of energy that is renewable and sustainable helps communities become more affluent, live better lives. Share any questions here. And that is my thank you. But there's a big but. I was waiting for maybe somebody to say something in the chat. And thank you, Jesse, for coming. Is that we have an elephant in the room. Where is it? Where is this? Is the color of your room, Jesse? So maybe the elephant in the room is that I want you to consider this, and I'm going to tell you my reasoning. Most of the images, except two images, this elephant and this, were generated with AI. How can I then justify the generations of images with AI when I'm talking about consumption of resources? I'm going to tell you my explanation for doing so, but I want you to consider also this when you're doing your chores and you see your pros and cons. The reason why I used it is I wanted to create something that looked similar, appealing, and interesting to you. And I don't have the talent to do it, much less the time to do it. So I needed to find a way to present something that was meaningful. Is that good enough? In my case, presenting this to you today, no. So I did something extra, is that I used the calculator to see roughly what that was. And the images that I generated is about 2 movies on Netflix. So I sacrificed 2 movies. And you know what? The sacrifice ended up being not a sacrifice because I gained that time for me and I just went for a walk. But then I said, instead of watching these movies these 2 days, I go for a walk during that time and I try to create that balance while still providing something that I think is meaningful and hopefully interesting to you. And to close, remember, Digital 2030 Challenge, you can visit it already. There are many resources, many interesting things that you can do there. And we're going to be supporting educators in sharing this with their students.
Amazing. Herman, I've just put the link to the challenge in the chat. We're going to share that with all our registered classes at the end as well. And frankly, kids, we'd love to hear from you through your teachers. How are you using AI? Are you using AI? What are your things that you feel about it positively, negatively, both? This is a really, as I said at the beginning, it's a topic that is of interest to pretty much every student in the world of every age. So we're really curious as organizations on what the state of play is and how we can better bring cool educational resources and more to you in the months and years to come. So a big thank you for listening and playing along. This is one of the most involved audiences we've had, not just for one of our programs, but of all time ever. So we really appreciate your involvement, guys. And we're going to dive in with questions now. So Herman, to lead in with that, while we're waiting for some of our YouTube audience to get on, are there other ways in which you personally use AI? So I can genuinely say, outside of like the ways that it's existed for years, like autocorrect and other things on text, I have not used any AI tools. I have no need for it in my job. It's not something that I've personally done. Can you share a little of your own insight?
Yes, I'm happy to. And the way that I use AI mostly is not to start with a blank page. Every time that we're ideating, even when I'm ideating this, I said, oh, this is what I want to create. I want to have an idea. Give me a structure and a structure for a presentation. I take that as my format, as my base, and then it gives me the confidence to have something to work on, and I heavily edit what I have. But I do use it to give me ideas, to give me a structure, to give me a concept or a starting point. And I found that to be very useful. Do I agree with everything that I get? Not all the time, but many times it has provided things that are very interesting and takes me in a direction that I didn't foresee.
Very, very cool. We highlighted what uses more a lot in this broadcast. It's a really cool tool for our classes to use, and we'll share that with everybody as well. And our past programs, I know you've recommended some other things. Are there any other resources or places classes should go to learn about some of these tools and tips and tricks and techniques when they're not on a broadcast with us? And that might just be Digital Moments website, which I'll bring up in a second. But is there anything else you can highlight for us?
Yes. So In general, is Digital Moment website will be a great place. Digital 2030 will be a great place. And Digital Moment provides training for educators on how to understand the fundamentals of AI, the inner workings of AI, via a program called Experience AI that dives into the way that we should be talking all together in education about AI. So we have a better base knowledge of what the technology is, what it is not, and when should we use it and understand it.
Very cool. It took me a second, but I got our link too. So again, 1 bazillion links coming to everyone at the end of the broadcast. Really, really appreciate you all listening in. Now, German, we are nearing the end of the show. Time flies and you're having fun. Is there any final message about all this that you'd like to leave our classes with before we say farewell?
Yes, my big message is in your classrooms, at home, have a conversation with your peers, with your teachers, with your parents. How are you using it? Why are you using it? Bring these concepts of, I wasn't thinking that it uses water. Where is mine coming from? What is the training from this to this? Try to learn a little bit more, try to be more informed, a little bit more knowledgeable, and question everything you get from it, because then that way you're going to learn more and you're going to be in control of the things that you do and you create.
What a great message. This is the thing, is that AI as a topic is something that sort of sounds like a black box. It sounds kind of scary and sciencey, and there's very smart people that are going, it's going to do this and that and the other all the time. And so it's important for all of us, no matter our age, if we're teachers, we're students, whatever we are, to take that time to learn a little more, find out those basic facts. It really does make a big difference, and it'll help you navigate some of the claims that are being made online, in the world, on the news around you in the months and years to come. So I absolutely love that message. Thank you so much for joining us today for this really special program. And as you know what we do to wrap up, Ms. Khan, I know you guys have to leave for recess. If you're on YouTube and you want to yell and scream at home and annoy the principal, you have our permission, so please do. But we'll say farewell from there, and we hope to see you again for another Digital Moment program very soon. Bye for now, German.